You ever wake up, step out into your backyard, and find your whole life fenced off like a zoo exhibit? Yeah, that was me. I'm talking 6:47 a.m., coffee in hand, birds chirping, ready to skim some leaves out of my pool. And there it is, 6 feet of chain link padlock, official-looking laminated sign, Meadowbrook Community Pool, members only. I swear I had to blink twice. My 80 grand saltwater pool now under lock and key, apparently owned by the neighbors. You can't make this stuff up. It gets better within an hour. My phone rings. It's Richard, the HOA president, sounding like a guy who's memorized every line of his own power trip. Mr. Carter, the pool is visible from 17 homes, he says. It's now a designated shared recreational facility. If you interfere, we'll pursue legal action. Meanwhile, this guy's been running a con for years. He filed a master plan 3 years before I'd even built the pool, showing a fake community pool squarely on my property. $72,000 in bogus pool fees, collected $60,000 straight up embezzled, and now he thinks the threat of a lawsuit will have me handing over the keys to my own backyard. Buddy, you ever met someone more stubborn than a pissed-off homeowner with a mortgage? I remember just standing there, frozen, staring at my pool through a metal cage. It wasn't just the fence, it was the feeling like somebody had walked into your house, started using your toothbrush, and then billed you for the privilege. My pool, my tiles, my LED lights, my Saturday afternoons. Now a community amenity because people could see it from their window. Then this woman, maybe mid-40s, shows up with a towel and a pool bag standing in the little public pathway behind my house. "Excuse me, the pool doesn't open till 10. She calls out like I'm the one who's trespassing. "This is my pool," I say, probably sounding like I've lost my mind. She just points at the sign. "It's the Meadowbrook Community Pool. Got the email and everything. Lady, you got bamboozled. Here's the thing. 8 years ago, I bought my little slice of paradise, 2 acres, old trees, not a neighbor in sight. No HOA, just a quiet life. Then this developer rolls in, buys up every inch of dirt around me, and drops a planned community right up to my fence line. Whole place gets an HOA rules about grass height, mailbox colors, probably how long you can sneeze in public. They try to buy me out. I tell them where they can stick their offers. So I'm the weird island in a sea of HOA suburbia. They're looking over my fence, walking their dogs past my backyard. Doesn't matter my land, my rules. And when I finally save up and build my dream pool, I follow every permit, every code. It's mine. Or at least it was. After seeing that fence, I call the number on the sign. Meadowbrook HOA, this is Patricia. Next thing I know, I'm talking to Richard himself, who's already deep into lawyer speak. It's not your pool anymore, he tells me. It's a shared facility. It impacts our property values and the master plan says so. My jaw's on the floor. You're claiming my pool because your people can see it, I ask. That's how it works, he says, all smug. You benefit from our pathways, so we get to use your pool. Fair's fair. That's when I realized I needed backup. Called Marcus, the property attorney who handled my house closing years ago. Marcus, you ever hear of an HOA fencing off someone's pool because the neighbors can see it? There's this long pause, then, that's not how property law works. He asks for the paperwork. Deed permits proof. I'm not in the HOA. Got it all. Then they're trespassing, he says. You can take that fence down, but get ready for a fight. They're going to sue you, and they're hoping you blink first. So I document everything. Pictures, video, the whole deal. And wouldn't you know, at 9:55 a.m., Richard himself shows up, swim trunks under his khakis, key in hand. Don't touch that lock, I say. We go back and forth, him threatening vandalism charges, me threatening trespassing, until he finally leaves muttering about selfish neighbors. The rest of the neighborhood's watching too, waiting for their promised pool time. I felt like the Grinch who stole summer vacation. I decide that's it, today's the day. Bolt cutters in hand, camera rolling. I cut down every inch of that fence and stack it neatly by the public path. Inside, I find cleaning supplies. I never bought a rule sign, even lane dividers. They'd been getting ready to run my backyard like a YMCA. By noon, my pool is mine again. I even sit out and enjoy the sun, half expecting the sky to fall. Instead, a courier shows up with a cease and desist from the HOA, demanding I restore access to the community pool and threatening liens, lawsuits, the works. Marcus tells me, let them sue. We'll counterclaim for trespassing, attempted theft, harassment. So we wait. But Richard and his cronies aren't done. That week, my cameras catch him sneaking in after dark swimming laps like it's the Ritz. Other residents start showing up, a kid's birthday party one day, a pool service the next, dumping who knows what into my water. I have to keep rebalancing the chemicals just to keep the pool from turning green. At the preliminary hearing, the HOA lawyer tries to argue visibility equals ownership. Judge Morrison isn't buying it. Do you have a signed easement, she asks. No. Then stay off his property. She issues a court order banning them from setting foot on my land and warns them one more violation, she'll find them in contempt. Richard's response: he organizes a pool party. 53 people show up, coolers, music, the works. I call the cops, who clear everyone out. Richard stands there, burger flipper in hand, still convinced he's in the right. That's when it hits me, this guy's never going to stop. He's lost in court, lost with the police, but in his mind the story's not over. Then things get ugly. My pool is drained twice. Cameras catch Richard opening the valve at 3 a.m. Later I find selfish spray painted on my fence bleach dumped in the pool trash everywhere. Each time the cameras get him. Each time Marcus adds another charge: vandalism, trespassing, contempt. Meanwhile, the financial side starts unraveling. Turns out Richard has been collecting pool fees for months, $72,000 in all. Most of it ends up in his own account or spent on his rental properties. The board finally snaps. Jennifer, a new resident, digs into the records and finds out the truth. At a packed meeting, they vote Richard and the treasurer out, elect Jennifer president, and agree to settle with me. Legal fees paid, formal apology issued, permanent covenant on the property. The HOA drops all claims to my pool. That might sound like the end, but there's one more act. Richard gets arrested, handcuffed in his bathrobe in front of the whole neighborhood for fraud and embezzlement. His sidekick Greg gets probation, then prison. The developer Preston Holmes gets hit with $1 million class action for selling houses with fake amenities. The state even passes a new law, my case cited by name, requiring HO as to be transparent developers to get notarized permission before putting anyone's land on a master plan. The last time I saw Richard, he was in court listening to his sentence, 4 years in prison, ordered to pay restitution. He looked like a man who'd finally run out of stories to tell himself. Jennifer rebuilt the HOA refunded fees and told me, "You protected all of us by refusing to give in." Maybe I did. Maybe I just didn't want to lose my pool. You know, the real lesson snuck up on me somewhere between the pool parties and the police reports. Sometimes it's not about the money or the water or even the property. It's about drawing a line and refusing to budge, no matter how loud the crowd or how official the paperwork looks. Property rights, they're not just legal jargon. They're a promise, a boundary, a quiet kind of freedom. So when I float in my pool now, no fence, no signs, just sunlight and water, I remember that. You don't have to destroy something to keep it. Sometimes you just have to refuse to give it up, no matter how many people say you should. And here's what I keep wondering. Where's the line between community and entitlement? When does wanting something become taking it? Does a majority get to rewrite what's right and wrong just because they can? I've lived the answer. But what about you? Have you ever had to draw a line, stand up for what's yours, even when it would have been easier to cave? Let me know. Share your story, your thoughts about right, wrong, and justice in the comments. I'd love to hear where you stand, because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that justice doesn't just happen in a courtroom. Sometimes it starts in your own backyard.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video. Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.